Chris Matisse, running for the 22nd Congressional District, which involves 3 counties, Kings, Tulare, and Kern County.
Great, thank you so much. So first of all, just tell us about yourself, where you grew up, what you've done before you decided to get involved in politics.
Well, thank you for asking. I started out in Sanger, outside of Fresno, grew up there, joined the Army, was deployed in 1985 in Panama, came back. Actually ended up working in Bakersfield for about a year. Worked for a local radio station, and I went to Cal State Bakersfield, and then ended up transferring to Fresno, Fresno State, graduated there, and it's been the last 30 years in the real estate business. I did also serve 4 years on the Fresno City Council. Proud of my conservative record, and from there I've been working and campaigning hard to represent the voters of the new district.
Tell us more about your time on the Fresno City Council. What are you proud of that you did over your tenure there?
Well, thank you for asking. I'm a conservative Republican, and so to me it was very important that we don't forget our love for God, family, and country. I was a very strong advocate for our Second Amendment rights. There were measures that were trying to weaken those rights. I fought hard to make sure that didn't happen. I was also someone that believed in less government, less regulation, not unlike what's going on right now, where people are required to wear masks and required to get vaccinations. I'm against any of those kind of controls. I think they're personal choices.
When was it, if you don't mind telling us exactly, that you were on Fresno City Council, just so we have that?
Sure, it was in the early 2000s, so it's been a few years, and I served in the 2nd District.
So what prompted your run for Congress? What made you want to get in this race?
Well, it's very simple. David Valadao, my main opponent, decided to impeach President Trump. Personally, I thought President Trump did an excellent job. I think he was a president that put Americans first. We were working, the cost of living was affordable. And now all of a sudden, in just 18 months, America has changed profoundly. My question for David Valadao: why would you vote to impeach a president when he's a Republican and a member of your same party? That is the main reason I'm in this race, and I am going to work hard to make sure our conservative values are represented and that this government of ours does not control us from cradle to grave, which is what's happening right now.
Did you support Valadao before his vote to impeach?
No, I did not. There's other issues. I don't believe, for example, that the Equal Rights Amendment should pass, which allows government and churches. Mr. Valadao supported that. I also don't believe in broad-based amnesty, which is something Mr. Valadao supports, so I did not support him for those reasons.
Can you tell us more? I know you already started to touch on it, but what it was about the former president that you supported, and how you mentioned that in just 18 months it's all gone away. What do you feel has changed so drastically in 18 months?
Well, it's simple leadership. President Trump is a businessman. Being a president, you have to understand the economy, you have to understand business. Mr. Biden has been a career politician from when he was 29 years old to now. He's never been in business. He's never faced what normal Americans face, the cost of gas, $5 a gallon. Why is that so high? Inflation is the highest in 40 years. It impacts young families. They can't buy a home. They can't afford the cost of living. All of this happened because of Mr. Biden's leadership. We need to be energy independent. Prime example was the Keystone Pipeline. One of Mr. Biden's first moves was to stop that pipeline. Why are we importing oil and gas when we have it right here in our own soil? And that's my main issue, is let's get America back to work. Let's stop the vaccination requirements, stop the mask requirements, and let America be free. And this big government needs to take a step back.
We were just talking before about how with redistricting, exactly where you live was just quite kind of a district. So why is it because of Valadao's vote to impeach and the other things that you said you didn't support along with him, that you want to run for this district specifically?
Right. I strongly believe that President Trump did an excellent job. Mr. Valadao voted to impeach President Trump. He called him un-American. He insulted him. And that, to me, is the primary reason I'm running. I will always be loyal to our conservative values. I support President Trump and his work, and I would like to continue to work hard as a conservative member of Congress.
So I know you've already, I'm sorry to ask you this again because you've been talking about this the whole time, but tell us what your top priorities, the issues you would most want to address, and how you would address them if you were elected.
Well, the first issue to me is freedom. We need to stop the government mandates, and that means no more mask requirements, no more vaccination requirements. A personal choice, people need to make that decision personally. It's not up to the government. The other big issue that faces our valley is the economy. Water is a prime example. We had an opportunity to increase water storage with the Temperance Flat project. Mr. Valadeo wasn't a member of Congress when that project died. Why? The people of Teviston ran out of water under Mr. Valadeo's watch. Why did that happen? If we're going to have a strong economy in the valley, we have to make sure people in business can work and that we have a strong water supply. The way that that's done is not releasing water for the delta smelt into the ocean, but to create more water storage. And that's, to me, a very important function of being a member of Congress.
This district, after redistricting, leans even a little bit slightly more blue. It was already a conservative, or competitive district, before redistricting, went back and forth, TJ Cox and Valadeo. Why do you think that as a conservative Republican now you have a chance in this slightly blue district?
Well, I think people have enough. I think our economy is in bad shape. I think we don't have leadership as our president. So I think it's time now that we make a change, and I believe people are tired, and you don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican to understand that the highest inflation in 40 years and $5 a gallon for gas is not what our America is all about. People, regardless of their party, want to change, and I believe I can fulfill the needs and protect the district from the craziness that's going on right now.
Going back to these vaccine mandates and mask mandates, so you think it should be a personal choice. I think I read that you personally chose not to get vaccinated. Do you mind sharing why you personally feel you don't want to get vaccinated?
Again, I don't believe that the vaccination is something that the government should require and mandate and demand. It's a personal choice. I chose not to get the vaccination. If someone else wants to get it, that's their choice, and they should be able to get vaccinated. If they want to wear a mask, they should be able to wear a mask, but it is not up to Big Brother to tell us we need a mask or to tell us we need to get vaccinated.
Last question. Now in this race, of course, you have the incumbent Valadeo, you have a Democrat, Rudy Salas. You also now have another, he considers himself a Christian Republican who declared for this race. Just tell us one last time why you think voters in this district should pick you.
What I can say is if you support President Trump and you support the work he did, I am your candidate because I strongly believe that our country was better off with President Trump. I'm the only one, if you look at everyone's literature, that supports President Trump, and I will continue to do so, and I would be honored for those people that do support his work to be your representative and to continue to work and make sure that America thrives and is not under the cloud that we're currently under with the current president.
Anything else that I didn't ask about that you want to say?
I'm Chris Matisse, conservative Republican. I'd be honored for your vote. I'll work hard for you representing the 22nd Congressional District. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you today.
Thank you. I so appreciate it.
Okay, you take care. All right.